Want me to get an image for it or no?
Mm, I mean, if you think so, you think we need one?
I mean, yeah. Why not? I mean, if I can find one, sure.
Okay. Outside of that, shit, was there anything else that was like, what's up? What happened?
That I'm just thinking about like if you were to tell me this time last year, Cody's, the war Bianca won and Sasha won. Cody's gonna win it next year. I'll be like, what? I just
Bruh,
thinking.
like the cold man. But
uh,
he can only win it under WWE. Nigga, there's no way that the fucking AEW
that's
can get
there's
another win.
yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a lot of politics in this. I don't think the AEW has an SPO yet. I don't think the AEW has that designated award for themselves. I don't think they're gonna get it anytime soon. That's
Thank
just
you guys.
funny.
We're live. If y'all can hear the countdown, y'all know what this is. This is considered the pregame. Y'all cannot hear us. I mean, I cannot see us. Y'all not supposed to hear us, but we are talking to each other right
Yeah,
now.
we talking, but
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. We y'all see the countdown. We about to get real busy real soon. Y'all know what I'm saying.
we're all setting up the images for the pod. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday afternoon, and it's 4:20. We're a little bit late on this countdown here.
A tad, yeah. What are we? A minute behind? Fuck it. You want to stop it? Like,
Let's just fast forward, speed it up.
bet. Fuck it. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? We about to
I just
motherfucking.
dropped that
We
Cody
about to
image, by the
go.
way.
Bet. We about to go live. Then in 3, 2, 1. It's I'm gonna get that fucking. I'm gonna get that little producing kick down from the fucking bubbles to us. Yeah.
Cut
Yo,
it.
yo, 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 yo. Y'all know what it is. It's I the Most High, my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. We back with another live and direct
Yes,
the
we
Underground
are.
Professional. What's happening, boy? What's up?
Chilling, recovering from this COVID vaccine that almost took me out, but I'm still here. GD Bank still rocking with you guys.
I'm still
Uh,
standing.
yeah, still
I'm still
standing.
standing.
You know, everybody hurts sometime, but we still standing. But yeah, check us out on Patreon. You would have seen me cough up a storm on Patreon. Go for it. At $5 a month, you get to see our last Patreon content over there. On Regional Wrestling Podcast on Patreon, RW Podcast One on Twitter, which is what I was about to say, and it's Reasonable Wrestling on IG and Facebook. So please do subscribe, follow, share, and support your boys. But we are here at 420, as we always are every
Yep,
Thursday. So
yep.
tap in with your boys, the Underground and Professional Wrestling Podcast, to get your reasonable wrestling takes. Now, with that being said, where do we want to start this week?
All right. You know what I was listening. Okay, so you know how we do. We listen to our podcasts and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, we need like opening segment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need some type of
Yeah,
stupid
the
shit.
lead block. You know, that's what they be doing on those
Hold
freaking
on,
sports
the,
shows.
the tie up.
Yeah, color elbow time. Like it's like
Yeah.
what the yeah.
What's up, little man? How you doing? My baby boy just pulled up on me. He like, Pop, I heard the music. I know what time it is. Yo, y'all really don't get it, man. Like when my son hears our theme music, the nigga runs like, oh, Cena's in town type shit. But outside of that, I think what I was gonna say, you said where should we start? I think we can and should start yesterday. I mean, today's Thursday. We might as well just talk about, kind of get into the week that
Get
is.
into Wednesday.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes. And
We watch
Wednesday means there's Dynamite. Yeah.
We watch AEW. And give me your thoughts on that. What do you have on that?
I mean, where we are right now in wrestling, last week I came in here and told you guys everything was mid. This week I'm not going to be as harsh, but pretty much it's the same thing. Everything is still mid. However, however, there are some speckles of promise. I think what AEW is doing is they're using their show to promote ROH before Dishonor, before they start building towards All Out, which is in September. So they're not putting on any big shows between now and All Out. Maybe they'll put on like a mini, special event on Dynamite in between. But
You
it seems
mean
like
like a fight for Fallen or something like
like
that?
not Fight for the Fallen. I think they're
I'm sorry,
like
Fighter
like
Fest.
like a Fighter Fest. It might be like another thing
Fighter
that they
Fest.
do. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but they might just have a big night on Dynamite, pretty much, in between where the titles are defended. But as of right now, there's no real activity with the Women's Championship or the AEW Championship or the AEW Tag Team Championship. So right now, it's all about ROH. Right now, with the feud with Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho took center stage on Dynamite. That was the main event. But we kicked off the night with a really good match in Darby Allin versus Brody King. And Brody King, man, he's that dude, man. He just seems, and these guys obviously have chemistry. They fought before, in the Indies and
Everywhere.
AAW everywhere, MOW. They've linked up a ton of times, but they definitely seem to be promoting Brody as the monster he should be in the company. So I see him as a guy who's a potential contender for, the TNT Championship with Wardlow. Obviously, Miro came in for the save afterwards, but he pretty much demolished Darby as he should. Darby did get a little bit of advantage at one point where he tied him up with the belt around his legs and drug him out. Tripped him up, drug him out the ring, and got a couple shots in. But for the most part, Brody King just had his way with Darby, and I thought it was just a great show, kickoff to the show because it was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, Darby takes a good ass whooping, so you got to hand it to the kid.
That's excuse me. That's one thing a white boy gonna do is take an ass with him, boy. White boy's gonna take an ass with him, boy. I'll tell you that.
You do know that Brody's a white boy too. He ain't taking no ass whooping.
I was just about to get back to my point. White boys can dish out some ass whoopings, nigga. I'm trying to tell you. I'm from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? White boy gets it in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was a hot opener, to be honest. First things first, Darby is without a shadow of a doubt one of the biggest baby faces in that company.
For sure.
And when you're trying to get over that faction, we kept saying that House of Black faction, the House of Black faction just needs something, right? It needs some type of malice. It needs some type of venom, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Darby and Sting, shout out to Darby and Sting. They are just the designated, hey, get your ass whooped type of duo. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime somebody needs to get their ass whooped, they sending out Darby and Sting. But,
especially when they're trying to get over a bona fide heel group or a heel in the, like we have right now with the Order, the House of Black. I'm about to say Dark Order, but the House of Black. When it comes down to it, I think that the House of Black has potential to be the top heel group in the company. I know we got Chris Jericho's group of misfits, but I don't like them at all, to be quite honest. So I think that this is where I would go with it. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, like if CM Punk didn't get injured, it would have been for me to put Malachi Black in the position of the next up for the AEW Championship. Obviously, we didn't get that because we got Jon Moxley as interim champion. Battle Royal happened, but then we have Brody versus Jon Moxley, which was a good match as well. So Brody has shown to me that he has the potential to tie up with a small guy, a big guy, and put on a really good competition. So these two guys and Malachi, and Brody, both to me seem like guys who are worth their weight and putting in position of being feared by others in the company. I think they're
Well,
worth that stature, not being on an equal playing field with Matt Hardy's faction or Andrade's faction. No, they should be top heel group, But what are you gonna say?
now when you mention when you mention the House of Black, you are missing one member. Like, what do you see with Buddy? Like, you're only mentioning Brody and Malachi. Like,
I mean, Buddy, he's a great performer. Honestly, we know Buddy's a great performer. Um, but he's not around right now. And I would say that whatever he's doing as far as like working out, I need his workout regimen because that's where I would ask him for because this dude is shredded. But when it comes to where he fits with the group, kind of like he fit with Seth Rollins in WWE, he is unfortunately the guy who will get you know the heat. Like, he will be the guy that gets the finisher, on taken, by people at this moment. Now, does he qualify to be more than that? Absolutely. The guy's a great wrestler. In the cruiserweight division, he tore it up with, Cedric Alexander, with, Pot. Yeah, they've had, their we all know what Buddy can do. Him and Alistair, even, or when it was Alistair, they put on great matches. But right now, until he's like shows in AEW that he is, worth a title or something, I think that it's going to take some time,
well,
and
I
that's
mean,
not.
that goes back. That was what I was trying to get to. We were highlighting Brody King as a single star. I thought Brody and Buddy would be a dominating tag team, right? Like that. That was what I was thinking. Where you have Malachi as the head of, and then you have the two flanking him, right? That's what I would assume.
I would say Malachi. They had Malachi and Brody has won the tag titles in a different company, which was it GCW or was it ROH? I'm not sure, but
No,
they
I
on the
think that was.
Indies.
I think. No, I think it was in. I think it was an England joint. If I'm not
Okay,
mistaken,
okay.
they.
So they've won the tag titles before. So they've worked as a tag team before. So if they won it, I wouldn't be mad. But I think Brody and Buddy as a tag team is cool and all. So, I mean, to go up against maybe a Swerve and a Keith Lee would be dope. I think that could work, honestly. But I don't see them winning the titles per se. I think that Brody also could just. I see Brody and um, Warlow being a good match. But that's pretty much what I want to see. Not saying that even he would win that. Maybe he will lose that match and then go into a tag team with
Nah,
Buddy.
Brody and Warlow would slap. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna hold you. I mean, Brody and
yeah.
Warlow would absolutely bang.
Yeah, so I mean that could happen to keep them, strong. They get the tag titles run after that, but yeah, I need to see Brody more. I like what he did this week, and I like what he did with Moxley too. But more as a single star, I think he has a place. Now down the line, obviously there'll be a breakup with him and Alistair, or him and Malachi. But I do think right now, as it stands, you got a TNT champion in Brody and an AEW World Champion in Malachi. If you can book it properly, now will they get there? I don't know. It's all potential, And then I
Well,
think
I
that
mean,
if you want to
if
go the
you
other
talking,
route, you have the other
if
route
you
of the
talk,
tag division as well.
if you talking all singles titles, then like I can't leave, but that faction can't be with them two and Buddy just like a looker on. Nigga. Like that's not how they are. That's not how you gain equal footing with that. So like if we're talking about a House of Black booking, then that means Buddy got to overcome Pac, and that means now you have all three of them with the singles
Ah,
title, and then now you know what I'm saying they can really wreak havoc over
hey,
the
I like that.
AEW is the House of Black. Everybody got to come through us to get something. You know what I'm
I like
saying? So
that. I like that. Buddy and Pac, and we've seen them link, and obviously I'd love to see that match again. So there you go. Give them all singles titles and have them run shot through AEW. Now, does that happen this year? I don't know. But it happen next year? Possibly. But there's a lot of people coming down the line, and there's this other guy that I'm hearing is rumored to be returning soon, and he goes by the name of Kenny fucking Omega. So when he comes back, it's going to be him and the Young Bucks, probably having a feud with some other three guys and debuting that those trios championships.
real
So
time.
we can't forget about that as well.
I mean, if we talking trios titles, we can't talk about nothing else outside of Shane Taylor promotion. Especially if we're talking about the connection between AEW and ROH, right? I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
They
But yeah,
cannot introduce those trio titles, and my niggas ain't on board with. I would motherfuck. I don't know what I'll do. I'll do. I don't know. I can't even say
well,
what
you
I'll do.
you gotta figure out what you're gonna do because that's not gonna happen because Shane Taylor is not right now currently hired by ROH or AEW. You know, only person that has a contract is Kang, and he hasn't really shown anything since that. I haven't seen him since like that fight, that match with Adam Cole a
Who you
couple
talking?
years.
You talking about Khan?
Kong, is that his name?
He in the tag team with fucking Tully Blanchard new tag team. They had
Oh,
a match.
that's him. Okay.
They look good.
Okay,
I
so
ain't
then
gonna
how you
hold
gonna
you.
get Shane Taylor promotions in the trios if he's already in a tag team? So like
I
this,
mean,
we
Shane
gotta
Taylor
keep
had
it.
like they had like 4 or 5 members in that jump. So like they
Okay.
got 3 members. Like they got, I think it's Shane. Is bear with me one moment. Let me not be ignorant on the pod. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me let me look up Shane Taylor promotion members so we not ignorant over here because
I thought it was 3 guys.
realistically, Khan don't break the don't break the mold. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a great look, but even
You
then,
got
like
Moses, you got Shane Taylor,
Moses,
and then there's
exactly. Yep,
one
we got
other
Moses.
guy who I know. The other guy, he's a pretty good talker too.
It's the O'Shea.
O'Shea, yeah, I was gonna say O'Shea, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to find it first. But yeah, so
That's what I was O'Shea. That O'Shea, yeah, he nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's my thing too. Like switching off the House of Black situation. Like okay, like you broke it down, and I want to kind of get into it a little bit. Where you was like how AEW, they tag team division kind of really just we see where it's going. It's Starks and Hobbs. Like we know where that's going. That's
we don't though. Like I would love that, me personally, but I'm waiting for it. That's where it should go in my mind.
Well, I mean, if you're paying attention,
we also got FTR, who are huge baby faces, who are going to have a match on Death Before Dishonor with the Briscoes soon. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we also have, Ricky Starks defending the FTW championship. Which is I don't know.
What got to do with the other, bro?
What I'm saying is, I hope they don't get him stuck in this FTW bullshit and put them back in the tag team division in due time, because that's where I want to see them, activate, and listen to me, like you just saw Keith Lee and Swerve win the championship. We talked about last week. We want to break them up. We talked about how we didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, Swerve here's a lot of us talking, dog.
What did he say?
He was on a pod with the Corner podcast or what names just forget me, man. That shot at Jack just really these names is just but the Corners podcast, 2 black brothers. I think Andre Hales is Andreas Hales is one member, and I'm again mistaking me for another member. But he was with a pod and he was just saying, like, why is it, when 2 other superstars of a different ilk get together and they're like considered one of the greatest tag teams, speaking of Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page, and then once, Swerve and Keith Lee, they're like, they don't need to do it. They need to be singles. Why are they together? You know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you right now, it's not because they're black, if that's what he's hitting at. What the reason being is because they were teasing a breakup, bro. Like, let's be honest. They were teasing a breakup.
When they first got together, we said that they shouldn't have been a tag team. Like
but also Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, they have history together. So when it comes down to it with Swerve and Keith Lee, I'm sure they have history together too. But I think that people genuinely see Swerve as a heel, and they genuinely see Keith Lee as a huge babyface. It's not a bad thing. I think that this could also lead up to a great storyline with these two guys.
Well, we only hold on. I want to be fair to Swerve. We only see him as a heel in his current persona because outside of what he's doing, like, and even right now, what he's doing is not a heel. We just view like his maximum potential would be to be a heel, but he's a baby face, bro. Like my nigga's a baby face. Like so we're disrespecting my nigga Kraft right
I don't
now.
think I'm disrespecting him at all. I think he does great character work when he's out there, but he comes off as a heel even in his babyface character. I'm not like lying. Like when he's out there, he comes off as his persona feels to me like he's still a heel. You know, the overconfident kind of like swagger. You know, he's like even when Keith Lee's, they're saying bask in my glory. He's like, oh, so are you gonna steal a spotlight first? Even that little comment there is like a heel comment, which he's then check this out. Whose house? They said Swerve's house. He's like, all right, I love you guys too. So like that right there, I like the little character details he's putting into it. But let's be real. Swerve, like you said, maximum potential is a heel, man. Even Stephanie McMahon saw. Stephanie McMahon said he was her favorite babyface. I mean, her favorite heel on NXT because he does a great job as it. This is not hate. This is not, and this is why people are like, wait a minute, maybe they should break up. With Kenny and Hangman, they both were baby faces. They both had history, and they told the story, and it got there. I don't think he should be upset at this point. I think because if you guys want to tell a story too, take us on the journey. Don't get on a podcast and be upset about it. I think that take us on a journey and show it. Show what you guys can be as, two single stars in the tag team division.
It's funny you say that when we just talked about the journey of Starks and Hobbs, and like, are you not paying attention to the journey? Like, are you not seeing the right? And we say Twitter's not real. We say social media is not real, stuff like that. Like, that's a tad false. You dig? Like, we are elevating them, and that spark that we're giving them is really up in the game. Because I don't know if you kind of we've been having a kind of rough week. We haven't really been tapped in a lot. After that loss, they've done 2 promos since talking about how they just want it, how they need it, they want respect, and how like this is not going to be a deterrent, and how they're going to come back better than ever. And they are building, like you say, you got FTR's one, bro. I know Cash and Dax got the heart of the tag team division right now.
Yeah.
So what I've been telling you is that when Starks and Hobbs win that fucking tag team title match,
it's gonna pop.
That's gonna be a big moment. That's gonna be a big moment. And they're like I said, currently they're taking us on, like you say, a journey. They're taking us on that journey, right? And I think also Swerve did another outside of the podcast, right? Swerve did another thing too. We talking about backstage stuff. Him and Keith sitting next to each other after the championship match and talked about how this second chance was special with his brother. Yes, right? It was
it's
right?
real. And I don't want to take anything from their connection because I absolutely think there's a brotherhood there. I absolutely think that they've worked together in the past and that they generally are friends and it's a bond. And that tag team title, the victory, regardless of whatever anybody's saying, you guys earned that shit. Like, let's be real. Y'all earned that and y'all deserve it. Just like the fans were saying, we all see it. Like, I don't think there's anybody saying that they're not a good, talented wrestling team, or However, you guys tease a turn. You, not us. You guys been teasing this, and then on top of that, it just feels like we saw Keith Lee debut, we saw Swerve debut separately, not as a tag team, and they seemed like they were separate tag teams, separate single stars that were made into a tag team. It's not a bad thing. You guys can also turn this into a great angle in the future, and that's all I see out of it.
Well, I would say that it's not a bad thing until it's made a bad thing, and he's not making it a bad thing. He's responding to people making it a thing. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we just said it, right? They came in as singles, like like that is the case with Omega and Paige, and I'm not. That's
before
the
they became tag team, though. There was a story that got them there, into even being a tag team. Like, that's what happened before them. It's not the same way. You can't compare the two to me. Like Swerve and Keith Lee.
how was there a story and the company just started? Like, it wasn't really a story.
They weren't the first tag team champions. They were telling stories backstage with the Young Bucks for months before Kenny Omega and Hangman Page actually became a tag team and then faced them for the championship. And then they had like this a really great tag team match, which played into the interactions of the Elite and Hangman Page not being included. Go ahead.
Do you remember how Swerve and Keith Lee came together? Right, they came together on the it was a story, it was a trajectory. They were single stars brought in, like you say, to be singles stars, but they built the bond over their dislike for Team Taz.
Yeah, and I get you, but this was not. How long have they been with the company? Think about it. Like, this is not like they told it for months. And then also the fan base has an attachment to the Elite and the Bullet Club of what came down prior to, with the Hangman Page thing. So they actually played off of their history together in that. This whole thing with Swerve and Keith Lee does come off as two guys being put together just because they have a mutual foe. We get that. But it doesn't come off as they having chemistry as a tag team. That's the thing. Like, when they come out together, they come up with separate music. Like, this is not perception. This is what they actually do, So it's a thing where, all right, that's cool. It's not like it's not going to work, but that's why people are saying, oh, wow, we didn't expect them to win the tag team titles. But at the end of the day, it symbolically means that you earned it. And I definitely believe that they're going to be a great tag team. What they did this week with, Kevin Gates, knocking out Tony Nese. I'm not sure where that is going, but it was cool to see them have that, celebrity interaction. He throws a cake into Mark Sterling's face. We'll see where the tag division goes from here. But I thought we were going to see something with Hobbs and Starks claiming their rematch, or even the Young Bucks. But maybe they want to give it more time. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, you literally just said it, bro. Like, it's Fyter Fest. Like, it would have been redundant to run the tag team joint back, right? Like, give it space to breathe.
Yeah.
Like you said, they earned it. Let Keith and Swerve kind of breathe a little bit with it. Yeah. And right now, we're talking about the growth of Starks and Hobbs. Like you say, let's see where it goes. That is the story. I think right now, like, FTR, as big as they are, like, they can want the AEW tag team titles, but they can,
right around the corner, you got Starks and Hobbs. Like, they can want that shit, but we all know that Starks and Hobbs are just on, like, they're creeping up on that title too. So I think that's what's cool about their tag division right now, is that we have a strong tag team in Swerve and My Glory. We have a strong tag team holding titles of the ROH Championship with a strong tag team match coming up, who we're just waiting for them to go out their AEW Championship. And we have an up and coming tag team in Starks and Hobbs that I believe will be tag team champions one day, and it's going to matter. So I think they're in a good place no matter what. However, I don't like what they do with Starks and this FTW shit. I think that these matches don't matter, and then him going to face Dan Housen with the title on line doesn't matter. So it's not where I would want to see them.
You said those matches don't matter, but we want to see him, right? We want to see Ricky. So true. So I mean, and again, it's only so many ass boys and motherfucking best friends that they can run through to kind of redeem themselves to make. So I hear what you're saying, but I do also still feel where Ricky is like, man, let me get some reps in real quick. You know what I'm saying? And also, man, Danhausen and Ricky, that's gonna draw. I don't know how, but it's gonna draw like a motherfucker, bro. Like, niggas fuck with Danhausen. Shout to Westside Gun Off Peace Fly Guy dropped the motherfucking Danhausen, and that nigga stock has went through the roof with the black niggas. You know what I'm saying? So
I still don't get it, Dan. I still don't get it, but hey, if it works, it works. The fucking curse and whatever. But I'm here for Ricky. I want to see Ricky beat that ass and then send him on his fucking way. But we'll see how that turns out. Maybe it will be entertaining. We'll see. Sometimes AEW does surprise me.
Maybe they beat the shit out of Danhausen, and now we got Danhausen and Orange Cassidy versus Starks and Hobbs for a little bit to kind of, because again, like you say, we got
tag team partner is Hook.
Who's tag team? Oh, now that might be. Yo, you know what? That might be how Team Taz implodes.
Thank you.
That might how we get Starks and Hobbs away from Team Taz and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But also,
Put
listen,
the FTW title on Hook. I don't care. I don't care about that title. So like, give it to him. I want Starks and Hobbs AEW Tag Team Champion. That's just me. And as for the Tag Team Championship division, listen, we love Swerve and we love Keith Lee. So at the end of the day, I'm happy for them winning this championship. But we also love Starks and Hobbs. We also have love for FTR. I think that the tag division is hot, and that's a good thing for AEW. So we'll see what things pan out in the long run. But I mean, it's all love. It's all good. It's all good shit. But I just am putting my 2 cents in on what I like and what I want to see going forward.
What else on the show from AEW?
Like I said, it was really filler because they're trying to get to their ROH show. The AEW champion did a tag team match for whatever reason. The woman just had a promo in the backstage. Jade Cargill still looks fantastic. She had a tag team match too. So it wasn't really a big night.
I want to pause on that. Shout out to all 4 women right there, 4 black women.
4 black women, yeah, tag team.
Kiera, Jade, so much so my wife sat down to watch that match, brother.
My sister just watched it and she's like, "Wow, this stuck out for me." She's like, me at 4 years old, I seen 4 black women in the ring. I mean, the tag team match. She actually noticed, and
my wife loves Willow. She loves Willow.
Willow Nightingale, she's cool.
She's like, that's a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's a woman.
Yeah, Willow, all of them, all these girls in the ring, they got a little. They all look good.
Not a woman.
They all women. I'll leave it there. I'm still waiting for my return of my Red Velvet come back, but they all did their thing. Waiting for it to stir it up. But yeah, man, the baddie's doing great. The main event was Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston in a complete clusterfuck. They had a turn from what I called last week. What's her name? Anna Jay. She turned heel with Taya Conti, and they opened up the cage. I'm not sure why Ruby Soho was holding the cage key. I'm not sure why they had a key when they were just going to leave throughout the bars of the cage anyways. I'm not sure why they tried to act like Sammy Guevara is like a huge debut coming back after he got thrown off the cage. I don't know why. Excuse me. I don't know why Eddie Kingston lost. So it was a bunch of pointless antics. I think that if you really want to Anna Jay's turn to matter, you don't also bring back, Sammy Guevara in that match. You make her turn be the pivotal moment to cause, at the end of the match. And then it was just too much going on. Why is, his group in a cage in the first place, and then, the people who were backing up Eddie Kingston had to run down the rampway to save. Like, it just a bunch of shit just happened. It was a complete schmoz. Not much to say about it other than you guys can do better than that, honestly. And Eddie Kingston deserves more. He should have gotten that victory. There's only so many bar matches this guy can lose, or big matches he could lose, So please, come on, give this guy some more credit. This guy's gonna be AEW champion one day if you guys are having any smarts. So let's start, building this guy up to that moment.
They've done a lot for Eddie, right? You know what I'm saying?
One victory over Jericho is not a lot for me. And one, victory at what? Blood and Guts. What? Cesaro got the victory for his team. Claudio. So.
Well, I guess if that's the I can't change, nigga not gonna change me how I see it, nigga. So I feel you on that. You know what I'm saying?
But what do you think about that?
All I think is still a big deal, clearly. So him losing doesn't really do much, really, right? It continues to build, especially if he's not losing clean. You know what I'm saying? And also
But here's the thing, though. If he doesn't lose clean, then he throws Jericho in the barbed wire after to get his heat back. Is this over? I don't want him to continue this feud. That's the thing. I'm kind of done with whether any Chris Jericho faction I'm done. Like, I don't need to see the factions with Chris Jericho anymore. They come off as corny to me, like honestly. And I don't mean to hate on the guy,
Oh,
but they all end up being corny.
you already
So like, Eddie
you already.
Kingston, Eddie Kingston, I think, and Brody could be awesome. Eddie Kingston and Malachi could be awesome. Eddie Kingston and Rusev, I mean, they can link up again and do their thing. And I mean, Miro, I keep mixing up the names, but Eddie Kingston and Keith Lee, Eddie Kingston and Swerve. Like I don't need to see Eddie Kingston with Chris Jericho ever again. I don't need to see Chris Jericho in any type of feud with any main eventer again. I think if he's trying to help out people who are younger talents, cool. Like I could see him and Orange Cassidy do their thing, or him and Darby do their thing, and him just to get them over to the next level. I could see him working with Hook. I can see him working with those types of people and getting to the next level. But Eddie Kingston to me has already gotten there. Like he's already at the place where he don't need Chris Jericho's rub anymore, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong. So at this point, I think let's move past this and let's get Eddie Kingston on his own, dolo solo, going for the AEW championship. Eddie Kingston versus John Moxley. They were a tag team at one point. Now let's see if he says, you know what, now I'm coming for your championship.
Well,
See what that looks like.
I would say this. I'm looking at Eddie Kingston's matches from this year, and Eddie's on a lot of winning sides of this, brother. You know what I'm saying? He did beat Chris Jericho at Revolution, so I'm assuming this is Jericho's like win back of some sorts. And Revolution was in March. I know you say he hasn't won any big matches, but yeah, I would say Eddie for the most part has been maintaining his relevancy by like he just had a match with the Japanese dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna try. But that was a banger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a banger. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not here. I'm not here to put my Eddie Kingston cape on because I do feel what you're saying. Like he kind of needs to be more. But when you look at the landscape of AEW, nigga, like where he go?
I just told you a bunch of places you can go outside of Chris Jericho after this. Like I don't want to see this anymore.
Moxley having a. You just say he's a future AEW champion. You gonna put him in another big match for him to lose? Ain't that the whole thing? Like he's big
I think that him and Moxley from now to All Out could tell a story where you can definitely buy Eddie Kingston beating him for the championship, and then you hear that music, cult personality, and it's next thing you know, it's CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston moving forward, and he returns. So that's how I look at things. Like like if you wanted to build Eddie Kingston into that victory for like at All Out for the championship, we got 2 months. Like we got the rest of July, we got the rest of August, and we got September right around the corner.
Hold on, you froze. I gotta bring you back in.
I'm right here. Okay.
I can't see you.
Okay.
Can you see yourself?
I can see myself. Yeah, I can see myself.
No, you froze. Hold on. All right. I can still hear you. I do not see you. You dig? All right. You I am sending you another link, brother. Hop back in. Hold on. You got it? All right. Hold on. You were just there. You're not there no more. I mean, I see. That's what I'm saying. My guy, be back. All right. You was lagging. You was lagging a bit. But now you back. I got you. Yo. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro.
All right, I can hear you. Turn you up.
I feel like Eddie Kingston should be AEW champion sooner than later. There's only so many times he could have just being enough, and then telling that story of him
not being able to overcome and just missing out. I think that you happen, yeah, put him in good feuds. Him and John Moxley, he could be the guy to beat John Moxley. To me, he can. And I've always been a guy. Maybe I'm just an Eddie Kingston fan, but I can see him having that marquee match that puts him down at the top. And then you have him do his thing with CM Punk going forward after that. There obviously we got people like Hangman still in the wings. You got people like Kenny coming back, and with the Trios Championship, you don't need to have, since they're doing things and Adam Cole's injured, you can have Eddie have that reign, but before the end of the year is over, in my opinion. Because the fans love this guy. Like, if you haven't noticed, like, the fans go crazy for Eddie.
My thing is, Eddie hasn't won big matches, and now all of a sudden he wins the big match and then goes on a run.
That could be the story. You could be like, listen, you haven't won big matches, so we all know what's going to happen at All Out. And then he can be like, listen, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to shock the world. And if I don't, then you'll never see me again. Put the stakes on the match, and then you have him go out there and fight his fucking ass off. Blood, whatever you want to do, hardcore, barbed wire, whatever, falls count anywhere, whatever you want to do. And Eddie Kingston, was able to put down John Moxley, the toughest man in AEW, for the championship because his job was on the line. It writes itself, from my opinion.
You saying, but 2 months don't. How does 2 months get you? A month and a half really get you there?
Absolutely, I can get there in a month and a half. After this loss to Jericho, I can have him have a couple of matches between now and then that show that he's still, not cut out, and then he wins maybe a battle royal, or he wins a triple threat or a fatal four-way to say, and he like barely wins it to get the number one contendership spot, and he says, all right, at All Out, I'm facing my former friend John Moxley, the guy who I covered and protected from the explosion barbed wire match. Now I got to defeat him to be the AEW champion. There's already a built-in story at All Out for that, and I think that writes itself. So I think I would rather see him be the champion sooner than later. And I hear you where he's lost too many matches, which is true, but you can also turn that around into a story that, where we almost assume and write him off as like not having a chance, and then he proves us wrong.
I would say that I don't want to be the person that's against Eddie Kingston being the champion.
It's okay.
I'm looking at the landscape, and if you like, Eddie Kingston,
All Out.
Like,
who else would you face? John? Would it be CM Punk, John Moxley? You think that's what it is?
MJF.
Oh, okay, MJF.
MJF come back. Say, I don't fucking sign this contract until I get a championship match with Moxley, and that's MJF. Fucking, and he'll sign the contract on the fucking belt.
All right.
And then you got MJF and CM Punk championship.
So what does Eddie Kingston do at All Out? Because he deserves a big spot, in my opinion. I think him and Wardlow, him and who? Him and
Bryan Danielson. That's a good spot for him. That's a good match for him.
I guess so.
That's a reward match. That's something that's that's a dream match or something like, and honestly, if Eddie just wants to fight, if Bryan Danielson comes back and just wants to fight, and them niggas just want to get some aggression off, like, I think that would be a great ass motherfucking, like, just a clash of styles. And to be honest, that can build. I want to see Kingston I want to see the Mad King. I don't know what this fucking baby face shit is, nigga. Like, I need to see. I don't know what this endearing Eddie Kingston shit is. Like, niggas used to despise this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we can get there. I think at this point we have to run with the baby face. People like him so much already. Like, you think he should snap like from losing and just like,
like, okay, he's already paid his rent. He already got the TV contract. Like, he's already done things that he hasn't thought that he would be able to do. And now here we are, two schmoes are talking about, Kingston, either championship or bust. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga's like, well, shit, I am coming to the end of my career. I'm 40. My shit's beat up. I'm like, you saw me after fucking that cage match or whatever, I couldn't even fucking celebrate with my niggas. Do I ever become a world champion? How do I get there? I gotta lose my shit.
Okay. I hear you. And that honestly, you got a valid point. I'm on the other side of the coin. I see him as a huge babyface champion. I do still, but I think that what you do, how you see it, I'm cool with it too. Like if that how they get there, as long as Eddie Kingston gets the championship, I would be happy. And the reason why I'm so like adamant about this is that because Eddie Kingston like provides a different vibe to the show when he's out there, man. He's just like we talked about authenticity. This guy just comes out there.
Aesthetic.
He's a completely different aesthetic, and I think that grittiness as a champion really sets you apart from WWE, especially like you don't need to be this.
I mean, him and Moxley are the same ilk, but it seems like that Mox. I don't know Mox. I'm not gonna say Mox is a put on. I do know Mox is an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Mox is an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga. And a lot of people say, yo, Eddie King, like, chill out. A lot of people say Eddie Kingston.
I didn't say nothing. I just know how you think about Mox. I've heard you say in the past all that, tough guy shit. You're not feeling that shit. I get it.
Yeah.
I try not to laugh, but it's funny.
So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I think though, I mean Kingston still, Kingston pushed on too, you know what I'm saying? From New York, you know what I'm saying, son? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of bravado, it's a lot of, testosterone, it's a lot of motherfucking charisma. Right?
He has charisma, absolutely. It's not just because about being hard or something like that. To me, is that he just goes out there and he just says whatever comes to his mind and on the spot, almost like that's how I feel.
And it'd be real too. It'd be real from with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so,
no, go ahead. What you say?
Ahead.
No, I just think that he has. I just feel like he has that ability to start a show and end the show as the main event and be believable in that role.
That's one thing, and that's what I wanted to say about the elk of Moxley and Kingston. Even though I talk about the acting, right? We know niggas act, right? And this again, I said in my post, it's people that act and you be like, man, he did a good job acting. He made me believe him. And it's other niggas are like, he wasn't acting. You know what I'm saying? Like he was made for that, boy. He was acting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are those two guys to me. You know what I'm saying? Moxley does a really good job because I'm not questioning him being a badass. I do think that he is a badass. Like he's a motherfucker. He drinks, parties with his boys. Like Moxley's my type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? I do. But I know if I'm with that nigga, he start doing that shit around me, nigga, like we calling it a night.
Shit. Oh man, yo, that's the. I think that wraps up the AEW conversation. Shout out to Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, residential tough guys. But moving forward, speaking of residential tough guys, we haven't seen in a while. We haven't seen Samoa Joe in a while, and he will be at Death Before Dishonor defending his TV championship against Jay Lethal. Matter of fact. Yeah, Jay Lethal. So that's just one of the matches on the card that I believe that I'm looking forward to. But this is pretty much all throughout the card. It's a stacked card nonetheless.
It's a fucking stacked card, brother.
Yeah,
it's a stacked card, man. Yeah.
And this is a great way to debut the new era of Ring of Honor with AEW and Tony Khan at the helm. It's only $29, plus fees, so whatever. It's probably like $35 or $30. But honestly,
that's the pay-per-view, or is that the ticket price to get into the show? But regardless of the fact, nigga, I mean, a $40 show, nigga, is like, you know what I'm saying, like. I still we gonna pay for
it. That's a ticket. My bad. It's not the pay-per-view.
That's the ticket. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm like, I know the niggas gonna hit us with the 60 for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like the niggas gotta hit us with the 60. But I mean, listen, Caprice Coleman, one of the best callers of the game. That's one. We actually commentators matter in sports, wrestling, motherfucker.
Wrestling
You
they
know what I'm
do.
saying? Like commentators matter in wrestling, and I like Caprice Coleman. He brings.
I
We talk
mean,
about it.
talk about
Go
charisma.
ahead.
We're just talking about he has charisma. I
Exactly.
remember
Exactly.
he
I
was
was
doing
about to say.
his congregation gimmick in ROH, and he's always just stuck out to me. Honestly, he's always just stuck out to me. And I mean, if he's gonna be uh, commentating this night for their show this weekend on Saturday, I think it's perfect. I think that especially with the new era, you want to bring in that pop, and he has that pop on the mic. Now for you got 5 championships defended. I think every single match is a championship match.
Yes, every single match is it's 6 champion. It's 6 matches.
Okay.
Every single match is a championship match, and I got the card right here, and I'll run it down to you.
Okay.
I do not know who the Righteous is, and it's the Righteous, and they face Dalton Castle and the Boys. That is something that I would definitely not watch. Don't even know who is in the match. So we're gonna go into the shit that we really know. You know what I'm saying? So the first match that I see that is very intriguing is Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb for the ROH Women's Championship. And for those who have been following Ring of Honor, who has been following Ring of Honor women's wrestling, the Women of Honor, right? They have those 2 women are the reason that championship exists, right? They were the foundation of that ROH women's division at the inception, and they carried the flag to now that ROH has a women's championship, and for them two to be wrestling for it, apropos, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I know we talked about Serena Deeb and her AEW Women's Championship, and this seems like this was a championship tailor made to be extended to. Mercedes is already a champion, right? So she has her name etched and sketched in history as a ROH Women's Champion. This would be the time for Serena Deeb to really craft her and be the professor of women's professional wrestling as champion. I think that's the.
You already know how I feel about Serena Deeb. Any woman that's willing to shave her head bald for an angle in wrestling, I think, and then get fired like subsequently right after that shit, deserves respect. And it's not only that, she's a damn good wrestler. So when I was actually rooting for her to take the title off of Thunder Rosa.
In the world.
Yo, I was rooting for her to take the title off of Thunder Rosa, and I like Thunder Rosa, but Serena Deeb was on a streak of like her and Shakira Hida and that feud they had. I loved it, man. And then she went up against Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa got the victory, which was great for her. But I think that this is finally the moment that Serena Deeb gets her just due and wins that ROH championship. And she gets to rock that title on AEW TV as a bona fide champion. Now, I love Mercedes Martinez too, but like you said, she has her run. She had the title. Now we put it on somebody who also deserves a run at it. So I'm looking forward to that match as well because I like both of these women. I think they both are going to put on the show because they both can genuinely wrestle. None of these matches I think are matches that we're not going to get good wrestling in. I know we don't know the guys in the beginning, but
I mean,
with Ring of Honor.
This is Ring of Honor. That's what I was just about to say. Like, you don't really have no recourse. I'm using that word right. You don't have no recourse from watching Ring of Honor. I'm like, I didn't get that. I didn't get what I wanted from that. Like you're going to get what you came there for when you go there, right? So I mean, when we talk about women's wrestling, I mean, we talk about and this is why I think a lot of people were saying like it's hard to say Bianca is kind of the best in the world when we haven't seen her against one of the best in the world. We think Serena Deeb is one of the best professional wrestlers, not women, not men, like one of just plain fact best professional wrestlers.
She's one of the best technical wrestlers, but what I think Bianca has that she doesn't lack. That Trinity might lack is that superstar potential. I just because and I think that matters when it comes to wrestling. I think that genuinely matters. That's what puts Jade Cargill above the rest of the TBS, championship division. There's a reason why she has a title. Is that superstar potential. Now, just because you don't have it doesn't mean you're not a great wrestler. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be
That's true.
champion.
That's absolutely.
Which
Absolutely.
I think that's Serena definitely deserves it. But that is come on, Bianca's the full package. She can also wrestle technically as well too. She's not necessarily might not be the professor, but she can put on a technical match, and she has a power game to her. She has the athleticism. She has the look. She's the best in the industry right now. If anybody says that differently, I will argue with them. That's in my opinion. It's not my bias. It's in my opinion. I think that she proves it on a week to week basis. Even just this past week on Raw, like her match with Carmella, like come on, you're doing squats with people in a suplex position in the middle of the ring. The crowd's going crazy. They're like, oh my god, like this is getting a reaction from a crowd, and then people buying your merchandise and wanting to see you. Right now, in the women's division in the world, there's nobody better than Bianca Belair. But let's not go on a tangent about Bianca. But whenever people say that, I get what they mean. They want to talk about technical wrestling ability and all that stuff. Maybe she's not number one technical wrestler.
Not necessarily technical, just seeing her against the best, right? Like the competition is not. Listen,
who's the best? I mean, is not Becky Lynch the best? Is not Sasha Banks the best? We've seen her with the best, in my opinion. Now, who else you think that they got to rise to her level? These guys, these girls in AEW, because in my opinion, they got to rise to WWE level as far as getting that attention. Only person outside of WWE that I can put on that level right now as one of the best wrestlers in the women's division. I don't think I can think of anybody. I don't. Maybe Kairi Sane. Maybe Io. Who may or may not be re-signing with them. But those are only two people that I can see that, and she's faced those people too. So like, who do you want to see Bianca go up against to say, oh, she hasn't really wrestled with the best? Serena Deeb. Okay, we also seen Serena Deeb with Thunder Rosa, and who would you say was the bigger star? Was it Thunder Rosa or Serena Deeb? To me, I was rooting for Serena Deeb in that match, and that's why I would put her as a champion here, at the ROH Death Before Dishonor. But I think there's a debate to be had on what you're looking for in wrestling. I think that overall, when I talk about best in the world, I'm talking about overall what your job is as getting eyeballs on your product, not just having a great technical match, not just like collar elbow tie up, reversals. Because Serena Deeb could do all that to the best of them, but so can Natalya, and Natalya is not the best in the world, in my opinion. She's one of the best technical wrestlers and reversals and all that stuff. Ronda Rousey is great with technical wrestling even too, but she's just not a great character. So I think that there's really no argument that Bianca's the best in the world, but people want to hate. But go ahead. Let's move on.
Outside of that, we got the ROH Pure Championship match between Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia.
Your Buffalo guy. You rooting for him?
Huh?
You rooting for the Buffalo guy, Mr. Garcia?
I mean, for sure. Garcia.
What is your honest opinion about Wheeler Yuta? Honestly.
Honestly, I did not think. I mean, pure. Listen, the Pure Championship is again. Here we go. We talk about best technical professional wrestler, right? Mm-hmm. It's. I did not think that Wheeler Yuta was the best pure professional wrestler.
I was shocked when he won the title. I'm going to be honest with you. When he won the title, I was a little shocked. But I'm not going to hate on the guy. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he has a lot of growing to do per se. As far as I think the Blackpool Combat Club has given him that kind of leash. Of like, yo, now you're going to be taken as a like more legitimate competitor because you're surrounded by legitimate competitors. And not that I say he's not, he's good. Well, you've seen him in, MLW. He's obviously, we talked about him last week. He busts his ass to get where he's at, and he's smart, working on his PhD and all that stuff. So when it comes down to it, in the ring, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, we've talked also about Daniel Garcia earning his spot and him being one of the best technical wrestlers, period, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing this Blackpool Combat Club versus the Jericho Society angle on AEW. Now you got this ROH show. I do believe that Daniel Garcia needs a title. And I do think that Wheeler Yuta might have to, fork that up. Because
might have to. Like, the fuck are we talking about? Like, let's beat that ass here, bro. Like, okay. These are.
It all depends on where you're going with things, So that's why I say it.
But I mean, there's nothing to go. Listen, listen. Daniel Garcia cut the promo and said it himself. Hey, Bryan Danielson asked for me, guy. Bryan Danielson said that. I had the goods. Bryan Danielson said that he needed me to be up under him to get and that is the embodiment of what we thought Daniel Garcia was when we saw him. He can put a nigga out anyway, anyhow, and listen. Hey, Daniel Garcia, Jonathan Gresham, not sure. I mean, like what I'm saying, like the Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, like Daniel Garcia, Dante Martin, Daniel Garcia. Like we have a slew of things that we can really get active with when we got a real nasty. Listen, man. Daniel Garcia is one of the nastiest in the ring competitors of this generation. And these are the former ROH Pure Champions. The inaugural AJ Styles. We got Jay Lethal. We got Samoa Joe. We got Nigel McGuinness. We got Bryan Danielson. We got Jonathan Gresham. Like that's the lineage of that championship, right? And I don't want to disparage the last two champions, which was Josh Woods, you know what I'm saying, who currently is, not really doing much. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm trying to be. Josh Woods beat Jonathan Gresham at Death Before Dishonor last year to be the champion. Right now, that nigga Josh Woods just lost to Sean Spears. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
we talk about the legacy.
I'm not going to talk about Josh Woods because I'm not going to be. It wouldn't be fair to me, to him, because I don't know his. I've never seen him really wrestle. He might be that nigga. Like he might be like before I knew Lee and saw him up close and personal. I saw, okay, this guy got the goods. Before I saw Gresham up close and personal, I'm like, okay, this guy got the goods. Josh Woods, he might be that dude, but just because he lost to Shane Spears.
No, I'm saying if he had the goods, he'll still have the titles. What I'm saying,
not necessarily. Daniel Garcia hasn't even had it. Okay, and there's a lot of people that have lost titles in wrestling before, like. If
you don't want to see the point of what I'm telling you is the last two title holders is trash, nigga. Like, did you want me to just fucking get there, motherfucker?
Hey,
like, damn, want a cat for motherfuckers. Josh Woods,
you just gave this guy Wheeler Yuta all the praise last week for his wrestling.
I gave him,
and then
yes, but he's not Daniel Garcia, nigga.
I'm not saying that he's Daniel Garcia. But you can't say he's trash. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you don't know these guys.
Yes, I can. Yes, I fucking can. Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
Listen. Okay, and you're a football guy, so let me put it in football context. All right. Listen, Daniel Garcia. All right, Daniel Garcia is what? Daniel Garcia is a nigga like
He's on
what?
a different
Josh
level. I get it.
Allen? He's Josh Allen. Let's say he's Josh Allen. He hasn't really proved it, but you see it. Like the nigga's good. Willer Yuta is Ryan Tannehill. The
Okay.
talent disparage between the two, you see it, right? Just because one is winning and one is winning, you really see him like when you see him go head to head, you really see like there's a difference in it. Like Daniel Garcia is a different nigga. You dig what I'm saying? And I think that right now the conversation is like, yo, Willer Yuta is under the tutelage to become that. What I'm saying is the nigga's already there. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, and you know what?
there.
I hear you, and I might even agree with you. But that's why I said, Willie needs more seasoning, and that's what I said. And I think that he'll get that. And he's had some good matches, like he's had some really good matches in AEW. However, calling somebody trash like Josh Woods and you, I think it's not fair. There's a reason why were given the pure championship to begin with. There's a reason why they're there. I think that calling them trash is different than saying, hey, they got some ways to go, and Daniel Garcia is better than them. And I already said to you, Daniel Garcia probably gonna win this match, and I think, and in my opinion, he should. He needs to win that championship.
I'm not gonna back down. That's fine. You didn't say it. I said it, and I'm not gonna back down for what I said. Man.
Hey, cool.
I don't know who Josh Woods is.
That's cool to say. Okay, you don't know who he is.
Okay, and for him to beat he beat Jonathan Gresham, the ROH World Heavyweight Champion, who unified that championship with the pure championship, something that has rarely been done.
He beat a guy who we were saying was the best technical wrestler at the time in the entire world. So go back and watch the match at least before you start saying the guy's trash. You don't know. So let's keep it real. Like, I feel like we got some more research to do on this guy, Josh Woods. And for Willer Yuta, obviously, we both think that he's still developing. At the end of the day, we both think that Daniel Garcia is going to win this match and should win this match. So I'm down to tune in and see how it's going to be. Obviously, pure championship wrestling is about technical wrestling. Obviously, there's a limited amount of work breaks that adds a little bit more storytelling to it, and then you'll have to see if somebody gets tapped out or they get pinned. I really do like the dynamics. You can't go out the ring, all that stuff. Like, I believe that this is going to be a good match nonetheless. Yes, so so it's not going to be trash.
I'm not saying Willer Yuta. Okay, listen, Willer Yuta's a trash champion. I can fucking say that, man. I can fucking say that.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that. And when Daniel Garcia becomes the pure champion, I guarantee you the spotlight of that championship will be better received. I can tell you that.
Okay.
The next match on the card, it looks like, I'm not sure if it's gonna be in order or not. So I'm just gonna go like this. You got Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal as for the World Television Championship. They got history. I saw that they had the Death Before Dishonor had this 30-minute joint on YouTube. Go check it out. Trained him, raised him up, brought that nigga in, became a big brother. And the story that they're telling right now is that, Jay Lethal was never on that level of Samoa Joe until he became the franchise, right? And that's a great story, because when we thought of ROH for a really, really long time, we thought of that Lethal nigga. Like, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, he kept the lights on.
Niggas was coming in and out, use Adam Page, Adam Cole, Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles. Like, when niggas is coming in and out that motherfucker, Samoa Joe aforementioned, you know what I'm saying? Jay Lethal took that fucking title, all three of them. That nigga nigga won every fucking title ROH has had to offer, my man. And he did it off the merit of a nigga saying that you're not good enough. I respect that. But when you're going up against Samoa Joe, my nigga, sometimes you ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing about Samoa Joe. I'm gonna be honest. Is he vulnerable? Because it comes down to this. Like I said, going into this segment, We have not seen him on AEW TV. We have not seen him at all in a while. So he's TV champion. That does not. He's not. You said he's not healthy.
He's not. I don't think. And this is why this is just me reckless speculation. You know what I'm saying? Like Vince be trying to protect these niggas from themselves. Vince said, "Hey, DB, my nigga, you can do it under the umbrella. We'll keep you safe. Like, I just gotta go bleed. I gotta go knock my head into shit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm out for 2 months. Please be with me. I'm out for 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to keep you. Is it? Like, is it, my nigga? Like, I didn't motherfucking blade and motherfucking bang my head, do a diving head bust and shit, knowing that I got concussion. Like, listen,
Daniel Bryan, to be fair, went through all the precautions to get back in the ring, talk to the doctors and everything, and he wrestled, and it had a great revitalization to his career over the past 3 years. So I do believe that he wasn't wrong with coming back and doing what he needed to do, and then leaving and going to AEW. But yeah, if people get injured from time to time, and Samoa Joe got injured, I don't think that has anything to do with Vince. That Samoa Joe is not in the company.
No. Samoa Joe was injured that last little bit of WWE. Like a lot of Samoa Joe was Macho Man, right? Like essentially Vince put Macho on the desk, was like, man, I can't have a commodity like you just be out. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather you be out but in. And Joe was like, I'm not sure about that, boss. And we got happy when he became NXT champion, and then he had to leave again. I just don't think that he was relatively healthy, and he got healthy enough. And then again, I just don't think he's healthy. So with this match, I think he is susceptible. He will lose, and exactly. I think it's really right for Jay Lethal to have that championship. It's right. He made that television championship matter. So it's only right that he becomes the World Heavyweight Championship again, World Television Champion again.
I hear you, and I hear you rightfully so. I think that's the same way I feel right now. It's just Samoa Joe needs to go somewhere and heal up, do what he needs to do, and either come back safe or maybe it's time to put the towel up. But I do miss Samoa Joe. I'll be honest with you, and I think that he would be a huge asset in AEW. You talk about Eddie Kingston having a feud with somebody. Samoa Joe can be a fit right in with there. You talk about Wardlow and Samoa Joe. You talk about Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley, getting that. It would be epic if he was definitely healthy, though. Only if he was healthy. Either way, if he's healthy or not, I would pick Jay Lethal for this match. I think it makes more sense.
And if we being honest, like just being like fanboyed out, if Samoa Joe is healthy enough to beat Jay Lethal, I want Samoa Joe Bryan Danielson for the television championship. I think that brings back the essence of ROH. You know what I'm saying? Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, ROH television championship. Like that's something that I would like this. Like Monique said, I would like to see that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like to see that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Monique said that?
It's a meme. Never mind.
Oh, okay. And then we got the tag team championships on the line. So do you want to talk about the main event, or you want to talk about the tag title? Because
we can talk about the main event, because the 2 out of 3 falls. I want to go a little bit deeper on that, especially with the tag team really too.
So we got Gresham and Claudio Castagnoli for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. Who you got, bro? Who you got?
Claudio.
I got Gresham. Let's go. Let's go, Gresham. I need Gresham to win this one. It's a big victory. If he gets this victory, I need him to win it. Claudio has had a great return, but he right now taking the title off of Gresham. No, Gresham is that dude. He should be ROH World Heavyweight Champion for the rest of this year. He earned it. He earned this championship, and he was TV champion for a long time. He had the ROH Pure Championship, held it down, finally beat Jay Lethal for the championship, ROH Championship. Let's have this run go strong, and let's have this company for the next run be built on Gresham. Gresham's that dude. And then we get Lee Moriarty and Gresham.
Nah, that's not the rivalry that's not going to hold you. Lee Moriarty is more of a pure champion than a heavyweight champion, and that's because I see Lee Moriarty, and we said it. we said Lee Moriarty and Daniel Garcia was the future of professional wrestling. And if we got the pure championship on Daniel Garcia, I think Lee Moriarty was a little bit nastier, you know, a little bit more.
I only
you know,
say
a
that
little
because he
bit more
turned on him.
cerebral.
I mean, I'm saying that because Gresham turned on him. You know,
Well,
but you think that Claudio Castagnoli is going to take the brains and run the company?
Lee already lost his title match though. Lee already lost his title match.
Okay.
They ended up they didn't give it. We thought it was going to be on Death Before Dishonor, which I would have actually paid money to see.
That's right, they did.
But
match, yeah.
I would say this: the story, and this goes back to the story that they was telling on the YouTube drink. You know what I'm saying? The elusive world heavyweight championship from Claudio, right, is one of the things that kind of, like you said, is like every company I've went to and left. When I left, I figured that there was nothing left for me to do there, right? Right, and we said like, how do you say that? You go to WWE, you want to be WWE champion, whatever. It just wasn't in his cards. You know what I'm saying? No matter what what transpired, just wasn't in his cards. But in the promo, it said it brought me back to my home, right? And ROH, for lack of better terms, is the introduction to a lot of who we know today.
True, absolutely. ROH is super pivotal in the history of professional wrestling. I think it's more pivotal than TNA Impact, in my opinion. I think I have more respect for ROH as a pivotal company in the history of wrestling than Impact, in my opinion. However, not to disrespect Impact, but I know it has its own credibility with the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, but they were also guys that came from ROH. You know, exactly. So I believe this would mean a lot to Claudio. Absolutely, he should be a world champion someday. Just not on Saturday. Not quite yet.
Well, I would say this: if we're talking about the histrionics of ROH right now, we're talking about Serena Deeb not being able to ever compete for a world championship in our Ring of Honor. This is, to the date, I believe, Claudio's last ROH heavyweight championship opportunity, which he came up that close on, and that was when he made his name, and he never got an opportunity to get back at it. You know, bounced around, did a lot of stuff around the world, brought him back. I think right now the story of him coming back and it being, and honestly, listen, you want to hear a hot take? Jonathan Gresham is more groomed to go after Moxley as the AEW champion than anybody else on that roster right now.
That is a hot take, and I disagree, but right.
I honestly, if I can get Jonathan Gresham more on AEW,
exactly. That's why I'm saying that Jonathan Gresham needs more television time.
Not as the ROH champion is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, that octopus and him being with Tully Blanchard, that pops. That pops. Tully Blanchard already brings the credibility from being with AEW.
Yeah.
If Tully gets in his ear and Jonathan Gresham attacks Moxley or some shit like that, like you say, it's instant, right? It doesn't really have to be a lot. You know what I mean? And if Jonathan says that, you know, like you just said, I carried one company on my back, I'm here to put another on my back, or I'm here to put my name on my stake in whatever. Like, it can be something to where he's conquering something else, I would assume. And but to this point, and this point only, Claudio, I believe this will be his only opportunity to showcase he can be a world champion, because in AEW there is a laundry list of niggas like we had in WWE that's going to be way ahead of him. And we just said that
I think that ROH will put the title on
like
him.
Josh Woods as a champion, nigga, so Claudio can be a champion.
You just be hating on niggas that you haven't even met yet, haven't even seen. But like, here's the thing with Claudio, I think he's gonna win the title. But I would want. I'm rooting for Gresham, man. I think that I would like them to build an angle from this. This is the first Death Before Dishonor after the acquisition by Tony Khan. let's keep the title on the same guy, and let's have the lineage grow with Gresham being that top heel champion, so that when he drops it, it matters. Him dropping it to Cesaro doesn't matter like that automatically. Maybe it does for some people. I think for me, I would give a little bit more time, and that's not to say Cesaro or Claudia does not deserve that moment, but I wouldn't just throw it to the fans right quite yet.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, like, what would be the actual weight? I mean, like Gresham. It isn't like Gresham has had the title very long. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's why I want to give him that reign of like, yo, I'm the heel now who's gonna do anything in my ability to hold this championship and hold and establish him as a firm top tier guy before you take him and put him in with Moxley. You know, establish him as a top tier guy in ROH and have him hold that championship and do some shit over time, and then you can bring him to AEW and go after a champion like Moxley. I think that he should be ROH champion
They don't
as they can
bleed
take this next era.
But that they don't bleed over for us to even know or care about it. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like,
you know Gresham. Me and you know. I'm talking about me and you. Me and you know Gresham. Me and you know Gresham is ROH champion. Me and you know Gresham hasn't had it for very, very long. So me and you will be invested in his reign. I'm personally more invested in his reign than I would be in a Claudio reign, because I think that Gresham brings more to the table as a performer right now.
He's been a champion for 220 days, right? So I mean, realistically, like,
but they also didn't. They weren't a company for like 6 months, so it was like, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like that,
but that don't mean nothing when Briscoes was the champions and we want them to drop it to FTR, or when you know. Like, go ahead.
When Briscoes was a champion, we didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about that match on the pod. So this is, I'm talking about specifically John Gresham. So like this is his first big match as champion. Like, really, think about that. They haven't had a show like that.
It's not, but I give it to you.
You know,
he beat Bandino. He
Bandito
with Bandino, right? Because Bandino was the original champ. I mean, this ROH championship has went through some times, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, bro, it's been through some times, brother. Yeah. I mean, okay, Cody.
But you mean big paper? I'm talking about big pay-per-view with the eyes on it. You know, you got the attention of, you know, the wrestling media across.
I don't want to disparage. They just had super. Okay, yes, he won the championship, but when he won the championship from Jay Lethal, they wasn't under a big umbrella. We was just happy for the nigga because, again, we was following Jay Lethal, right? So like,
you're making my point. It's like that. Me, like, now this is the opportunity to establish Gresham as who we see him as before he was on TV.
But like, I didn't need him to be a unified I didn't need him to be a unified champion. I could have really had him be a pure wrestling champion and have somebody else win. Like, I didn't even need Gresham to be a unified world champion. But when they made him world champion with Jay Lethal, he was never on TV. We was never even following ROH. We was like, if it's a good match, then we'll go see it. But
I think this is
right
the
now.
I think this is the opportunity to make him hold that championship, because he already has it. So him getting the title just to lose it to Claudio because it's a heartwarming story from the, you know, no, fuck that. Gresham is that dude. Give him the proper ring, and that's just my opinion. So I'm going with Gresham.
Don't come with heartwarming stories where you just want to Eddie Kingston because we don't have long with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think that Cesaro and Eddie Kingston are equivalent? You think? Oh, I mean, Claudio.
You talk about a heartwarming story of Eddie Kingston, who, like, okay, Eddie Kingston and Cesaro are both people who've never been world champions, from my understanding.
Okay, the crowd's going crazy for Eddie Kingston, and whenever he's
out there,
and the crowd's
going crazy for the motherfucker Cesaro punch and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest.
And like, and when he gets on the mic, are they going crazy for him? Not so much. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Eddie Kingston in the ring, are we going crazy for him either, nigga? Like, let's be honest here, brother. Like, let's be honest. Eddie Kingston matches ain't really delectable.
You just said he just had a banger with the Japanese cat. You just said it out of your own words. Okay,
Japanese
all right.
nigga
You know
is
what?
nice.
I'm gonna wash my hands of you. We just
Hold
have
on, hold on.
difference of opinion.
Hold on. That Japanese
think-
nigga not hold on. That Japanese nigga did not have a great match with Moxley just 2 weeks ago, too.
Suzuki?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the nigga name is. You could have told me whoever the fuck. I don't know.
My point is that Eddie Kingston is a good wrestler. I mean, he's had good matches. If you don't like his matches, who's a better technical wrestler? Obviously Claudio.
No,
but my point is this:
oh
you want to bring me to the show, put Eddie Kingston as champion. You want to bring me to ROH? I would rather Gresham be champion. That's my opinion, and I can say that, and I can stand on that, just like you can stand on other people being trash. I'm gonna stand on Gresham being champion and Eddie Kingston being champion.
You said there's no correlation, but you said there's no correlation, but it's just a correlation. So we're right. We're done with that conversation because if you can't acknowledge that it is a correlation, you just don't want that correlation, then that's fine. There's absolutely the same fucking.
We said there's no correlation. I said there's no correlation with Samoa Joe and Vince, man. That's not what I was talking about.
Damn, nigga, you don't know what the fuck you just said 16 seconds ago, nigga?
Correlation about what?
Cesaro and Eddie Kingston. You said there's no correlation between
the two.
No
comparison between the two as far as I think the level of interest in them being world champion. I believe that Eddie Kingston has more interest. And I could be wrong. I could be completely biased on this. I'll put my hands up and be like, listen, this is a me take. I
would say you're not alone in that when I say both those competitors, both fans want them to be world champions. I say Eddie Kingston can't be world champion right now. You give me all the reasons why he can be. I say Cesaro champion right now. You give me all the reasons why
I said give him more time. I didn't say he can't be. I said give him more time. You said give Eddie Kingston more time. All right, we're on the opposite side of the coins. Reasonable wrestling, you can agree to disagree. Here we go.
Last match of depth before this honors a 2 out of 3 falls match. We got Briscoes, the aforementioned Briscoes versus probably the best tag team in the world right now. FTR
right now. Them and the Usos, one of those two. Because Jimmy Uso has the most matches in the world right now, and he's having actually great matches with the Street Profits week after week. So there's an argument to be had.
Hold on.
I mean, I think that quantity you gotta, even not might not be the reason why you're the best tag team in the world, but it's something that you should add to the equation. All right, they've had more matches this year.
You can't kill repetition. You cannot kill repetition weekly and they'll be like, yeah, Jimmy and Jay had great matches with the Street Profits for like the past 7 months. And I say that these niggas, the FTR is the best in the world. Like not just wrestling Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, nigga, like the world, Craig.
Okay,
the world,
right.
Chico.
They're the best tag team in the world, FTR, best tag team in the world. I got you. All right. And I'm not going to hate on that. I'm not going to even disagree. You want to say that? I'm with you on that. I love FTR. So we got FTR versus the Briscoes rematch from Supercard of Honor. This time it's 2 out of 3 falls. Speaking of, this is what they should have done with the Usos and the Street Profits, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, man, this is FTR is having a moment right now. They are probably the biggest tag team in the world right now, with the most acclaim. I believe this is another moment for them to prove it.
Yeah. Again, the Briscoes talked about the politics of professional wrestling. We know it, right? You go to WWE, you're the guy. You're made the guy. You go to AEW, you're prompted to be the guy. Like, no, you came here, had to earn that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to earn that. And what this is going to be, okay, you ain't sneak up on us, but you got the best of us, but that ain't how we go. Everybody know when the Briscoes lose a match, they come back after it. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be fair if Briscoes get this back on FTR, and now we got, so they said, fuck the 2 out of 3 falls match. But we just gonna have it in a match, nigga. Like, pit us twice in a match and determine who the best fucking tag team is. And what I'm trying to tell you is that this has been the first time tag team wrestling has felt like that, boy.
It feels like a big money match.
I feel like it's that boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I know Ring of Honor is very much traditionalist. So I don't think that they will have this main event, the show. But I mean, I think they should main event the show.
I agree. I agree. I think after the acclaim they had of their match at Super Honor, one people are saying it's like one of the matches of the year. Um, I think this should end the show as well, and I can't wait to see it. Honestly, I'm buying this pay per view for this match particularly, in particular. For so like, and granted, it's a great card all around, but this match seems like it got the potential to be something special. And I love the Briscoes. Talk about authenticity. These guys bring it every single time they're on the mic, every single time in the ring, and they don't get enough credit. And that's why we put them on our poll of the best tag team in the last decade, or the last modern day.
It took
You know,
it took me a minute, it took me a minute to find out what the authenticity was because I thought it was black for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
they just some
So
country boys that talk real slick.
yeah,
You know,
it took me a minute. It took me a minute. You know what I'm saying? They can
honestly, they might be. They might be half black. I don't know what they are. To be honest, I still don't know. But I don't care.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't even
That's
care.
that's again. That goes back to the that goes back to the authenticity. Once we got into the like, okay, we don't like they were gender fluid. Well, who the fuck they was? You know what I'm saying?
Let's not go back to this conversation. Shit. Let's go for the Patreon. Go check out the Patreon.
I'm
for that
saying
shit.
I'm sorry. That was ethnic fluid. I should say. It was ethnic fluid. It was ethnic fluid. You know what I'm
What
saying?
the fuck?
They
Yeah,
know
the
what they
ethnic
were.
fluid. I don't know what they are. Honestly, all I know is that they're the Briscoes, and they them boys, and they kick ass.
You know what I'm
They've been
saying?
and they've had the attention my eye for about a decade. Yo, they've been killing it, yo, and they just know what they do. They know what they're doing as a tag team.
And I would say this too, man. The reason why I say it feels like it's that boy is because the promo game, right? The making me feel of the match. You know what I'm saying? Like they really want to be the best. A lot of niggas saying like, yo, if you like the Usos, you like the Briscoes. And the Briscoes like, nah, nigga, we the fucking Briscoes. If you like the Briscoes, you like the Briscoes, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are clearly, those are some Samoan niggas, and we are some ethnic fluid people. You can't even compare us.
I think that I'm not gonna lie. I do think that the Usos heel turn took a lot of influence from the Briscoes. I'm not sure, but calling themselves them boys and the way they talk, I do think has a little influence from them. However, the Briscoes are the Briscoes, and I'll say it hand down. If anything, you should be comparing the Usos to the Briscoes because they're authentic. That's been them forever, and they didn't have to switch up. They never worked on face paint. I mean, unless it's war paint, they have, they just been themselves, like the entire time, and they kick ass in the ring. They make their paycheck and they go home. And I think that they both have had standout matches with the Young Bucks, with other ROH tag teams for years, man. And if you guys haven't really seen it, go back and do your history. The Briscoes are that real tag team that you guys should be paying attention to. Why they have not made it to WWE or Impact or or AEW even, I don't know, because that is a team that whenever they're on the screen, you want to tune in to see because they got they're going to go in there and wreck shop. They remind me, they give me that vibe of a better Dudley Boys in a sense, but like in the fact of like the grittiness you bring to the tag division. I think that what FTR brings is that old school, polished, traditional tag team wrestling, and when you get those two, you get a dogfight. So I'm really curious to see how this turns out in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm rooting for anybody to win, honestly, but I do believe the FTR is going to take the victory. I do want to see more from the Briscoes on TV, though. Like, if they can get to AEW, if they can get to NXT, I don't know how, but they definitely have always gotten my eye in ROH, so I'll be tuning in regardless.
Yeah, man. Briscoes and FTR gotta go the distance. FTR gotta win. FTR gotta come back to AEW and say, hey, We've been skipped over a few times. Just know that those AEW tag team titles is coming home, and just give me Starks and Hobbs, FTR, All Out. I'm there, baby. Or All In, whatever the fuck it's
what
called.
the hell what do you do with Keith Lee and Swerve, man? You just have him lose to FTR?
Who? No.
All right.
I told you, man. I told you we gotta have we gotta have AJ come out. You know what I'm saying? Snuff Keith Lee. Gotta have Adonis come out. You know what I'm saying? Adonis get tossed throughout the way first and in the match, and then we get fucking AJ Big Behemoth and Keith toss his ass out the way next, and then we get Keith Swerve All In. Money.
Okay. We'll see. I like it. But yeah, we'll be tuning in. We'll check out our Patreon for a review. We'll talk about it there on what we thought about it. We will not be talking about this Death Before Dishonor next week unless something huge happens. So definitely got to check out the Patreon for that little review on that. Now moving over to SmackDown and the Usos and the Street Profits, which should have been what they're doing with ROH. And you talked about how a promo can get you intrigued that quickly into a match and then having a great match as well. I think the Usos and Street Profits did everything they can do to make this feud just as interesting as FTR and Briscoes. They've had the great promo. They've had the great match. Huh?
Really?
Yes, really. Going into Money in the Bank, they had that great promo face to face. You know, they exchanged their barbs, they exchanged their catchphrases, and you were like, all right. And then if you watch the pre-show, the Usos, talked about their way, what it means to be tag team champion, as well as the Street Profits, how like this their time to finally defeat the Usos, and they went out there and had one of the best tag team matches of the year at Money in the Bank. So they did everything they could do to make this match at SummerSlam a big money match just as well. I think that their performances have been great. Now, what WWE failed to realize is that they got to do their fucking part to make this special. We did it for them. You said 2 out of 3 falls. Chris, you said that. You said ladder match. You said that. And what did they give us? They gave us Jeff fucking Jarrett as special guest referee. Now, why does this make any sense as far as why this will give us a definitive winner? As if Jeff Jarrett can't make a mistake because he's a referee. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why? It just seems like a spot just to put Jeff Jarrett on TV prior to his match with Ric Flair's last match, or whatever they're doing at Jim Crockett Promotions or whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't know why they're choosing this way to bring this feud full circle, but this is not it. And it's taking spotlight from the main 4 guys it should be, in my opinion.
Nobody's talking about it except people complaining about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's not
J-E,
good.
JARRET, Jeff Jarrett.
People should not be complaining about Jeff Jarrett. They should be excited to see the Street Profits versus Usos. And they fucked up right here. They did.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, man. I'm not excited about Jeff. I'm not excited about Jeff Jarrett. But what I'm saying is, like, bro, they had Jesse the Body Ventura refereeing a world championship match with like Stone Cold Steve Austin in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's different, man.
How's
that's
that
different? I think that the stature of a Stone Cold Steve Austin and Undertaker at that time is not going to be overshadowed by people saying, "Oh man,
it was Stone Cold, Mankind, and Triple H in a triple threat match." And
Stone Cold match. That's not going to be overshadowed by Jesse the Body Ventura coming in, and I get it. They've done that, but that's my whole point. When that happened, people were still excited to see the match. They weren't talking about, oh, why did they bring Jesse Ventura into this? They were like, okay, cool, because they had a storyline leading up to there where there wasn't the referees were getting beat up by all the guys. They were taking out the referees. This angle does not warrant a special guest referee to begin with, whether it be Jeff Jarrett or anybody. It could be fucking, I don't know, fucking the Blue Meanie. I don't give a fuck who they chose.
Okay, so if you just told me that you remember how referees were being taken out in that triple threat match leading up to SummerSlam, and you can't recollect that referees have been taken out during matches in between, like that is the core. That is, you don't want to see.
No, let's be real. What happened was that the shoulder was up. That's the storyline. With them, they couldn't contain it. They needed a professional wrestler to be referee because Stone Cold, Mankind, Triple H, they couldn't contain the match, so they got a professional wrestler to be referee. Hey, it makes sense. There was a shoulder up, mind you. What makes Jeff Jarrett not make a mistake of having not seeing his shoulder up? So, like, I don't think the logic in this makes sense. Also, I think it steals a little bit of the spotlight from these four men who deserve a solo one-on-one match, whether it be, I don't know, ladder match, table match, 2 out of 3 falls, tornado tag match, no disqualification.
It's Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett doesn't steal spotlight from nobody.
People are talking about how this is a bad decision. And that's enough.
Yeah, it's a bad decision, but he ain't overshaded. I mean, okay. I mean, we talk about all the time. You say, and here we go. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the match. I'm like, yeah, but they haven't done anything like to deter you from like not actually like we've saw stuff that made us like not watch matches. Like me and you both have been through this a long time together. And we're like, you know what, man, they done did it. You know what I'm saying? We got better shit to do. I don't know. For one, Usos and Street Profits, I don't know how they can top that tag team match without
raising the stakes. Exactly.
Right. That I don't know how they have that tag team match without a stipulation. Now, I can say this. It would have been better if they did a ladder match, a 2 out of 3 falls match, if they did a lumberjack match or whatever the fuck, or even if Jeff Jarrett was a special enforcer outside the ring type thing to catch a mistake for the referee, which possibly could have been the pivot. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that there's no mistakes to be had by referees, we have a special enforcer. And then Jeff Jarrett, I mean, that I can understand that can take the sting away out of it. But Jeff
also, Jarrett, to me, like I said on the Patreon, I said we also have Big E, who I was like, yo, if they wanted to keep on the outside of the ring, be an enforcer or be a special guest referee, that makes, because he has history with both of these tag teams in the past. So he, would have to be a neutral party, and he has also history with these guys. Jeff Jarrett is completely random and doesn't solve the problem of why they need a stipulation in the first place. So it's just a fucking filler of a match. Like, to me, I was really excited for this. So yes, there's a little bit more passion when I speak about it, because I'm like, yo, this was my favorite angle in wrestling. Think about that. I said that 2 weeks ago. This is my favorite angle in wrestling.
But it's only a filler with.
You feel me?
It's only no. It's not a filler to me because I'm still excited for the match.
Okay, I got you, and I'm happy that you are excited for the match. I thought personally. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I thought personally that it was a bad decision, and it definitely lessened my excitement for the match. Now, granted, if the Street Profits finally get the victory, I don't need Jeff Jarrett raising their hands up for their, following the big victory over the Usos. Get this nigga out the fucking way. And I've never been a big Jeff Jarrett fan. So, like, maybe it's for me. But I also think that if they had anybody that doesn't have a relationship with these two tag teams, it could have been Triple H. I would have been like, okay, what? Why? It could have been, and that would have been better than this, but I would still been like, okay, why is Triple H in between these two? Maybe, that would make a little bit more sense because he's in the company. But this is completely random, and it doesn't make sense. That's all I'm trying to say, that's why I'm not interested.
I mean, I can understand you saying this completely random, but when we say it does make sense, in the sense that They're gonna be in that. Listen, you either got Jeff Jarrett or motherfucking. We ain't in Memphis, so it can't be Jerry King. You know what I'm saying? Like we are in a situation where niggas is pandering. What do you want, the honky tonk man? You know what I mean? Like we gotta get something.
So that right there, you just hit the nail on the head. They're pandering, and that's what I fucking hate about SummerSlam and WrestleMania sometimes when they gotta pander. Last year with the zombies and pandering, I didn't fucking like that shit. This year, I think this is a pandering to the crowd of whatever it may be. Do your thing, have a good match. I just hope that they tear it down, which I'll tune in obviously, and give my take on it, afterwards, and see, and maybe I'll come here and be like, you know what, Jeff Jarrett added something to the match that I didn't expect, but I highly doubt that will be the case.
Absolutely. My thing is like, if Jeff Jarrett could possibly be the person that's not intimidated by the Usos or possibly not intimidated by the bloodline or something.
He
like
that. 60.
Okay, and then you see this beat the shit out of Ric Flair, nigga. Listen, he can still get it in. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
man.
you see wrestlers got some of the best pull punches in the business.
My God. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, name me a Tennessee wrestler that can't motherfucking pull a punch.
That's how they teach them out there. But at the end of the day, it's a move that I don't agree with, but hey, I'm still gonna watch the match. It's all good. SummerSlam right now. It's still mid to me. SummerSlam. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I wanted to talk to you about pandering a bit. Like, I mean, this is British Bulldog winning in England. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if Drew wins that Clash of the Castle, is that pandering too?
Yes, absolutely. Right. Yes, there's and what
but
I'm saying
is so now my point is there good pandering and bad pandering?
No, it's just levels to pandering. It's levels to pandering, and the only thing that matters is execution. You said you don't care about Jeff Jarrett raising the hand of the Street Profits, but I don't know what that might do for a montage for them niggas later on down the road. I don't know what the impact of this might be. I don't know if we get a guitar spot. You know what I'm saying? Like that might be the entryway to us getting a nigga getting cracked up. We in
Paul Heyman
for a reason, my nigga. You know
unless Paul Heyman takes a guitar bump, then I don't want it. Unless somebody takes the guitar bump, then I don't want it. And if that's the case, then cool. Like, I mean,
what if Jeff is the one that's there to take the guitar? What if Jeff, as the referee, gets in the Usos' way? He takes the motherfucking guitar bump. Street Profits taking advantage of it. Referee comes down, swoops in. 1, 2, 3. It's not really Jeff Jarrett that gets the spot, but he's involved in the match. He doesn't really overshadow the match. Listen, I'm just throwing shit out there because I want to see a nigga get slapped with a. I want to see slap nuts. Okay, that is what I want to see. I've been feeding for some slap nuts, and we are in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right. So we're in Nashville, Tennessee. Chris is feeding for some slap nuts. I'm feeding for some blood. I'm feeding for some TV PG 17 or no, not PG, TV 17. Fuck that PG shit. TV 17. So when it comes on to WrestleMania or SummerSlam, where are we gonna see? I hear that they had posted that it's gonna be TV 17 this week, and then they took it down, and now they posted it as TV 14. And they took it down, and now they're posted TV PG. So as a whole, I was like, all right, bet. Got this last man standing match, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. They moved it to TV 14. There was rumors of that. So I was like, bet. I'm going to get my blood. I'm going to get some kind of stakes risen with this. Now they reverted. Now it's saying TV PG in the corner. What is going on with WWE and their hesitancy to go TV 14, and why are they teasing it and then drawing it back? Either do it or no, because we went through this. I think they did this like a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm like,
not really. I think we just answered our own question. Money, pandering. Right now, listen. Us as wrestling fans, we've been watching for PG for a minute, so it ain't like that is a necessity for us right now. We get our appetite elsewhere nowadays, but like there hasn't been an insatiable need for blood.
You know what? We
So
should just start
now,
watching this shit then, honestly, because if they're playing around like this is stupid to me. Like either do it or not. Don't leak any stories about you going TV 14. Just shut the fuck up and stay PG. In my opinion, you know.
well, how the fuck are you mad at them, nigga? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where you mean that leaking stories out? Like, maybe this is maybe they want to do something, and it's the networks.
Do you
that is
think
like,
do you think it's an accident that you can see TV 14 there and in one image and then the other one you can see TV PG? No. Figure your shit out. That's my point. It's like either you're doing this shit or you're not. There should never be a TV 14 moniker at the corner of this image if they weren't planning on doing that. Just leave it PG and don't talk about it, you know?
Why are you so upset about something?
Because I want to see blood with this match. I'm done with this Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar shit.
Nigga, SummerSlam ain't even happened yet, brother. What are you mad about?
Listen, I'm mad because with the TV 14 being taken down, the likelihood of me actually getting what I want to see in the main event is slim to none. I don't think Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's match is going to be that good. I don't think it's going to be something that we haven't seen before. I don't think it's going to be special. I don't think it's going to be a moment. I don't think it's going to be, like, oh my God, like a war. I don't buy what they're trying to sell me. Paul Heyman can talk as much shit and try to sell this shit as much as he can. Oh my God, Brock Lesnar is a beast. He's gonna kill. He's a hog slaughterer and all that shit. Brock Lesnar can say, "Oh, I slaughter hogs." Roman Reigns, oh, we gotta see a new Roman Reigns, a savage Roman Reigns. You can say all that shit. I don't believe none of that. That's my point. And I think a lot of people don't believe none of that shit. And I've been
with you, and we've been saying that for the last 5 matches. Every single match, I hear you. It's been the same, but it's been different.
But this was different. What's different here is there was a hope. There was a hope last week. We came on the pod. Raw. TV 14 is coming back. Hallelujah. We played One Blood live for our audience. That's what happened. And then this week, what are we standing with? Look at this bullshit up there. TV PG again. So, yeah, as an audience member, which I thought that I might see a different type of match with Brock and Roman last week, I'm a little bit peeved that they're not going to actually go pull the trigger on this shit. But maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I'm out. Maybe it's crazy to think that a TV 14 rating.
You don't know if they're going to pull the trigger or not because SummerSlam has not even aired yet for it to be TV 14.
You haven't even acknowledged that they put it there and took it off.
Again, what I'm telling you is the difference between network television, my nigga, and your own shit. They can be TV 14 on Peacock and can't be TV 14 on motherfucking USA. That can really happen. That can really happen, bro. Like USA.
That was a Peacock image. I'm telling you that. That just so you know.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is that the intention could have been we went to our network partners to do something and they rejected it because it affects the money. Like we're blaming something that the intentions could have been pure to give you, right? TV 14 they're like, hey, we're not really making a big, jump in this. Like, hey, can we do something? Like, and what NBC Universal could have said is like, hey, it's hard to push this shit when we've been doing this for 15 years is this way, but we didn't gave you billions of dollars this way, and now we don't want a situation where we run something and Pizza Hut come calling us like they did Domino's and AEW. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what I'm trying to say is like there could be more to this than our cynicism to our fucking fandom. You know what I'm saying?
That was funny. They used a pizza cutter and cut right to a Domino's commercial right after that. No one wants to eat pizza. No one wants to eat pizza after that shit. But that was hilarious. Listen, I still see Domino's pizza commercials on AEW products, and they still blade. So I'm just be honest with you. Cut the shit. Either do it or you don't. Don't leak no stories of that anymore. Don't play around with your fan base. If you're gonna give us a regular old Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns match, then cool. I have nothing to say. I'm gonna get mad about nothing. I can just expect what I should have expected all
but they
along,
haven't
which
given
is
you a regular.
bullshit.
They haven't given you a regular, but I mean,
We'll see. We'll see
I mean,
in a
they
couple
had
weeks.
a cage match in Saudi. They had the fucking match with and the other match with when Paul Heyman threw the like. I mean, all the matches you can say are the same, but they have different elements in the matches. But,
WrestleMania
I mean, hey,
was pretty much the same as their first match or their second match. WrestleMania was not anything special. Let's be real, honestly. So look, so at that point, I'm not gonna argue about it. That's my opinion. They haven't had great matches.
no, I can hear you saying. Listen, you tell me that the dynamic and stuff matters. I say I don't want to see Rollins and Reigns again. You like, well, it's a different Rollins and it's a different Reigns and it's a different. Like, you can feed me that when it appeals to you. And what I'm telling you is that I understand it may not appeal to you, but those same sentiments do matter when creating a story. Those stories.
And when I do that, I want you to know when I do that, because I've done this with Brock and Roman. I've given you like, hey, it's a different Reigns, it's a different Brock. When going into Saudi. And I truly believe it because it's a regular match on a regular pay-per-view during the year. It's not one of their big 4 pay-per-views where I'm like, all right, they're just trying to throw this big match at us to avoid giving somebody else that big payday. And I think that you really should give these moments to a Matt Riddle, give these moments to a Rollins. I do think because they're there every single year. I personally believe that the dynamics do change if you were to make this a triple threat. And that match at Saudi was it during the year. I don't mind seeing a Brock and Roman during the year after we've already seen it at WrestleMania. Don't give me during the year 2 times and then WrestleMania. It's different. And also, yes, it was a different dynamic. We never seen Roman and Brock with Roman as a heel. So the storytelling going into the match and during the match was something we never saw before, which is what I was talking about when I said that. When it comes to Rollins and Reigns as a heel and Rollins as a baby or as a heel too at the time it was a different dynamic. It was a different dynamic. We haven't seen the way he played games with the Shield stuff and all that stuff. And to be honest, Seth won the match. So, it's a thing where I believe, yeah, there's still more to tell with Seth and Reigns, especially with their history. But it's all about giving these guys the opportunity to tell their art the way they need to tell it. I think Seth does a great job with the details he puts into his work. I think that Roman does as well. I think that if you give them the time and you give them the opportunity, you can. But when it comes to Roman and Brock, we just saw this WrestleMania. You all said the same exact lines for that shitty ass match they put on in the main event, and we were there to see it in Dallas. I mean, obviously at the Airbnb because we were there night 1, and it was mid. It wasn't great. The greatest match of all time, or biggest match of all time. It wasn't that. So that's the thing, that lip service you give to your fan base, and you can shake your head and all that, but it's true. And if WWE does it, and they're like, well, yeah, they always done it. I don't give a fuck if they always done it. Whenever you do it, I'm gonna call it out. And right now, SummerSlam coming up with this TV 14 thing. It's more lip service, guys. And I'm not saying it's going to change the product completely or we're going to see a new wrestling atmosphere. It's going to be like the old days. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I wanted to see blood in this match, and we might still see it. And if we do, I'll come here and be like, you know what? They put on a great show, and I'm happy that they gave me what I wanted. Until then, yes, I do have a little bit of a peeve about them not knowing what the fuck they're doing with their Peacock channel and putting it up and taking it down and playing the games. Oh, I heard a story that Raw was going to be TV 14. Raw comes and it's TV PG again. That's the kind of games I'm talking about. And that's, to me, either sloppy behind the scenes work or they're intentionally doing that to play their fan base.
Yeah, it's the same nigga that got fucked. It's the same nigga who got hit with a sexual abuse scandal and motherfucking sauntered down to get a fucking ratings, bruh. Like, yeah, I gotta play the game. How I'm gonna play the game? Hey, listen, NBC Universal, the people really do want this. I can make more money this way, or I can whatever the case. I don't know what it is, but it could be a ploy to be like, yeah, we can make this work. Because again, you're talking about 15 years. We talking about 15 years, bro. The Cena era, 15 years of PG. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I can hear you say it's as simple as you want to be, but Vince don't have that big of fuck you money to say I'm a veto some shit because He can't let the word shit fly. He can't, like, there's certain things that there's parameters, those guidelines that he really do respect, right? We talk about how Vince don't respect bitches. He respect the FCC. You know what I'm saying? Vince respect his partnerships and relationship that gives them money. He don't respect the motherfucking women that cost him money.
Let's talk about more. Let's talk more about respecting bitches.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! I hear you, man. I get it. I'm gonna speak about it the way I speak about it because I see it as some bullshit.
I mean, you're just spitting. I just hear you spitting the venom, like, yo, stop playing games. I'm like, yo, what games? They're like, I mean, they probably put a sticker up and was like, yo, don't run it yet. We can't run it till next week, and they take it down and run it next week, or some shit like that. I didn't really go too deep into it. What I'm saying is that, like you say, the TV 14 is not going to change the product much. I didn't expect Raw to be like blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't expect that shit to happen. Like, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do expect them to get niggas ready and prepared for where shit do happen. So it's not a surprise. So I think they got your antennas raised. Like you say, like if they just would have gave you blood and they were still under the PG moniker, they might have got some shit. We said it last week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Moms of America was motherfucker writing into the military and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was crazy than a motherfucker out here.
Take your kids to bed. You know, but yeah, I mean, I feel you. I hear you.
Yo, turning into the war zone never got me to go to sleep, nigga. Like, that just only made me want to stay up.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying?
That is so true.
Shit about to get raunchy.
Yo, I was lit. Yo, it's like I gotta stay up for this, man.
You know what I'm saying? But yo, we got anything else? We got anything else on the show?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, we talked SmackDown a little bit. We talked about what we fucking cared about, man. At the end of the day, we got Rey Mysterio's 20th anniversary coming up. Shout out to Rey Mysterio for killing the game for 20 plus years in general, but also 20 years in the WWE. So we'll see what goes on with him in Judgment Day this week. Hopefully we get an Edge return. What else?
Yeah, they've been talking about Edge at MSG, so that might
okay.
pop up. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I can go, man. I really do wish I can be there. But I'll be working. We'll see what I can do. But yeah, man, it should be a good week going forward. Everything, has been kind of mid lately.
Jungle Boy came back.
Jungle Boy. And he chased Christian Cage out of the arena.
And Luchasaurus. So I apologize. TDU was right.
Exactly.
We can end the podcast. Podcast like that.
Thank you.
But I'm just letting you know, though, as my friend, as my brother, if that nigga talk shit about my family and fuck me up like that, you ride with that nigga for 2-3 weeks. Man, you got issues, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Jungle Boy is back on his side. You see, I told you. He ain't gonna turn on Jungle Boy quite yet. But when it does happen, it's gonna be crazy. And that's over to eat him alive. But right now, I'm here for it, with the Christian angle. I see what they're doing with Luchasaurus. They kind of make him like he's an animal, like he's like an actual dinosaur, like he's not necessarily completely have free will, but he's like, like if a dog sees his former owner after a long time, he's gonna be loyal to that owner even though it's been years. And that's how I looked at it with Jungle Boy and Lucha. So shout out what they're doing with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy and Christian, because I think that Christian is doing a huge favor on getting Jungle Boy over, as an actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to the homie West, front row in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates was there.
Kevin Gates was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Did you see? When Kevin Gates, I saw the look on Westside Gun face when they were doing the Kevin Gates stuff. I was like, that's West right there. He was looking like, yeah, whatever. I can see it. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, multi-platinum, whatever.
Come on, yeah. I hear you. Multi-platinum on his fucking neck, nigga. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Yo, when that nigga came and talked to us that day, his neck sound like motherfucking frying pans clanking together.
Word,
Nigga, like,
yeah,
God
dude.
damn, bro. Like, that shit was heavy as hell, nigga.
Yeah, shout out to West, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, shout out to the coach, man. Yeah,
Shout out to
I'm saying
Coach.
everything
Honestly, Kevin Gates shows up one day and they do an angle with him, but Kevin Westside's there
That
every
nigga
fucking
saw
week.
one day he got 2 phones, 3 niggas in an angle. What is it? A partridge in the pantry? Like, what the fuck going on?
I know, right? And Jermaine Dupri was there with the baddies, you know, just to show some love. So that's cool.
I mean, Jade, that bitch.
Jade is that bitch, man. It's like she gets more beautiful every single week. She kills it every fucking week. Honestly, Jade, she's getting better in the ring. She's honestly a huge. She's just a star. Obviously, you know, like when she's on the screen, you're gonna watch. You know, and like when I talk about star potential, man, honestly, she's killing it. Whatever her workout regimen is, she seems taller than she really is. I think she's like 5'10", but she looks like. Jade, and that's how we will end the show. All is love. Everything is wrestling. And shout out to Red Velvet. Hope you guys return soon, babe. Peace.
Yo, peace, man. We out.